So of course, I'm sure you guys know that Solana NFTs are coming to OpenSea very soon. Now, we don't know exactly what NFTs that will be, but we do know some of which have been confirmed by OpenSea over on their social media. So I thought I would take this video to talk a little bit about the projects we know so far are going to OpenSea, and I'll give you guys my opinion on them. Of course, there are a lot of them, so this isn't going to be an essay-length explanation, but I'll give you guys a brief about some of these projects, and of course, talk about some ones that I believe are underrated or a good deal to pick up right now. That being said, guys, let's get right into it. So obviously, you guys could get any of these projects you wanted if you took a look over on the OpenSea Twitter feed. So again, they are consistently tweeting out all of the projects that they are partnered with to help launch on OpenSea as, of course, the bridge from Solana to Ethereum NFTs. So with that being said, let's go through the list and discuss which ones, of course, look decent. So the first one, of course, here is Project Elune, which I actually held on to many, many months ago when they first had their mint. This is actually one of the more older Solana projects. It's not the oldest or anything, but I definitely do remember minting this for 3 Solana back in the day, and right about now, it's worth around 3 Solana. So hasn't really changed all that much, but again, this is one of those projects you probably would want to do your homework on, and that's something you'll notice with a lot of NFT gaming particularly. I can't really tell you whether or not it's going to be a huge move, because most of these NFT games aren't. Usually it's whether or not you believe in the game and whether or not you enjoy it. So again, there is a lot of information on here about Project Elune. I definitely would say you might need to do more due diligence with NFT gaming projects like this. So that is Project Elune. Again, I love the art, held on to it, got some airdrops for a while. Do I know if it is going to surge to 20 Sol as the leading NFT game? That's hard to say. So definitely something you might want to do some due diligence on. The next project here is called Bonfida, or Bonfida, however you would say that. And essentially what this project looks to do is involve Solana domain names. So something with the Solana name service, of course. They do have, I guess, a lot of marketplaces that they are working with. Digitalize, FTX, all of that. So again, some domain name NFTs, which I don't really see anywhere. I don't see this being very popular, but I definitely could see this being popular in the future. So again, I've never heard of this project before, of course, until OpenSea mentioned it, but definitely looks like it has some potential. But before we go any further, guys, let's talk a little bit about my Patreon. I have worked tirelessly to make this the best NFT group out there. By joining my Patreon, you guys get literally an insane amount of content. You'll get a custom Discord role, direct access to me in a DM, full access to Matt's NFT dojo, crypto and altcoin trade signals, access to my exclusive NFT watch list, whitelist opportunities, priority access to my live streams, and so much more. To be honest with you guys, I think it's a steal for only $10 a month. And of course, if you guys would like to talk to me over voice in a voice call, you guys could always join the Emerald and above tier, which has that offered. Currently, there are hundreds of people joining the Patreon every month, and they absolutely love it. Link down below in the description. The next project here is something called Solana, which is a blockchain-based strategy game. Another project I had not heard of in the past, but definitely does look as if they kind of know what they're doing when it comes down to building a fictional world. Of course, here's their website, really well done. And of course, I suppose you could enter here and you could start playing if you wanted to, or start learning about, what these guys really offer. So it's a mobile game. You could look and see if this game is something that floats your boat. Again, NFT games, it's very hard to give an objective review of, because really you kind of have to feel it out for yourself. The next project here is Solarians, which are very, very old. Very, very, very old. I've heard of these guys for a very long time, and when we take a look, of course, at the Solarian website, there are 10,000 individual unique animated robots that were the first on-chain generative NFTs on Solana. So again, they've been around for a while. I didn't know they were around for that long, but they've definitely been around for a long time. I kind of get the feeling that these guys may have already seen their heyday. It's hard to say. They don't particularly command anything amazing over on Magic Eden or whatnot, but definitely is possible that these guys in the future could have some resurgence. I don't know how the Ethereum community is going to translate to, generative pixel art like this. It's kind of hard to say. It's a little riskier. I do think on Ethereum, either like 2D, sort of like that anime Azuki style artwork, or that 3D hyper detailed artwork will probably perform better, but that's just my intuition. To be honest with you, I don't know that much about Solarian, so again, this is one that you might want to take a look at and see whether or not this art floats your boat. The next project here is Baby Ape Social Club, which has been around for a while. These guys used to come into my live streams and talk about this project all the time, and they have a really strong community. I know they've had a very strong community for a long time. They sit somewhere between like 5 and 10 Solana for pretty much the longest time. You could stake and earn the DAB token, and of course, again, very, very strong community. Decent, artwork, decent overall floor price for a while. And again, this looks like it has built a pretty strong group of people who do support this, and definitely one of the better profile picture projects out there that I do think could do well on OpenSea. I do think this type of art would probably be successful on there. The next project here is Cave World. I do remember this actually minting at the time. It was kind of during a Solana crash, if I remember. So I don't think these guys really got much of a fair shot, given the fact that I think the price of the Solana token like skyrocketed and NFTs crashed, or vice versa. Something funky went on around the time of the launch of this project. So I don't think these guys ever really got a fair shake. Looks like they have a good roadmap going on here, of course. I do like the artwork. It does look, 3D and engaging. I could see something like this being a hit with Ethereum people. It really just depends on whether or not you believe in this roadmap and what they have going on. It does look like they've grown their community since I last remember seeing them. So, again, this one's been around for a long time. Very well could be successful on OpenSea. The next project is Dronies. This is kind of a similar example, to be honest with you. Had a very, very hyped mint, a little bit underwhelming reception after the mint. I don't think the floor price is quite what people wanted, but definitely does look as if these guys have the artwork that is needed to do well on OpenSea. I definitely could see artwork like this performing well. The community is not super, super, super active, and that's, okay, I suppose. Definitely not tragic or anything, but the artwork is ultimately very cool. I don't know much about whether or not these guys have really a roadmap, but I definitely would keep an eye on them. I do remember, I think it was Shaquille O'Neal who was also interested in this project at the time. So definitely do seem to be hitting some of the marks, the main mark being the fact that they do have this 3D artwork that I think Ethereum people would probably like. The next project is Galactic Gecko Space Garage, one of the oldest and definitely longest lasting projects out there, of course, on Solana. And when we take a look at the Galactic Geckos website, of course, they are a NFT social adventure club featuring 10,000 warrior-turned space racing geckos. So this has been around for a while. I do remember these guys from the original day of Solanart. So yeah, September 22nd. It's been a long time since these guys have been around. I do remember they had some beef with Piggy Soul Gang, which I'm actually not seeing on the OpenSea list, but kind of another old but gold project out there. I don't know whether or not Galactic Geckos are going to be the wave. To be honest with you, it's been a little while since these guys have really been around, and of course, you could take a look at their marketplace. I do believe the floor price is holding kind of steady, 16. Definitely not bad. I don't think the activity is anything like incredible. It's certainly not bad, but it's nothing that is making me, freak out about watching this project. So perhaps this could be one of the movers and shakers over on Ethereum. Definitely a little early to tell. I don't know how the Ethereum people will react with this style of artwork. The next project is Undead Apes, which I definitely really do think will be a good move. I picked up a couple of these, and I did let my Patreon subscribers know about this project, but Undead Apes definitely does look to have basically everything that an Ethereum community would need. So again, the artwork, more than anything, it looks like an Ethereum project. In fact, when I first heard about this, I thought it was an Ethereum project. It seems to be that kind of like bone, skull, ape kind of look and feel. Very strong community. I get asked about this project all the time, and the floor price is only like 2.5 Solana, somewhere around there. So definitely might not be a bad idea if you're trying to find a cheaper project that maybe has some of those seeds planted or has some opportunistic traits about it that may fly with the OpenSea people. So definitely this artwork, the community behind it does seem to be moving in the right direction. Feels very organic, doesn't feel forced. I do think this is a very good project. The next project here is Monkey Kingdom, which has an asinine amount of people staking it. And you guys can see there are 10,000 of these monkeys out there. And of course, they do have a mint coming up here on the 15th on Ethereum. So hey, might be a good bridge from Ethereum to Solana if their next project is already on Ethereum. But here is the Monkey Kingdom. So again, what I think is crazy about this is how many people are staking this. When you take a look at, of course, the Magic Eden listing for this, there are so many people who are actually staking this and are involved in this project. So definitely does look to, again, have kind of that pixelated kind of look. I don't know whether or not that will fly on Ethereum, but again, you guys can see DGod's tweeting about them. A lot of people are mentioning this project, and again, overall, I do think this is probably one of the best projects out there. If you were looking to, again, try to stake, make some passive income, it's a little expensive. You know, it's not something I own, but definitely not a bad idea. And speaking of DGods, of course, one of my all-time favorite projects. You guys know I'm repping the DGods profile picture over on Twitter. But yeah, DGods are absolutely insane. One of my all-time favorite projects out there. I do think this will be massively successful on Ethereum. That's why I made the decision to ape in. It was very, very uncomfortable for me to do, but so far I'm not regretting it. I do believe this project is going to be very successful with OpenSea. They have the staking, they have the art, they do seem to be trailblazers when it comes down to Solana. So definitely, DGods so far are looking quite amazing. The next project here is Nyan Heroes. Don't know much about this project. Looks as if they do have some level of gameplay out, and it does look quite good. So just in this little clip, it definitely looks like their graphics and stuff are quite nice. Don't know much about this project at all. I can't say I've ever even heard of it before the OpenSea tweet, but here's their website. So it's an NFT-based shooter out there, and definitely an unusual way of scrolling here on their site, but you know, definitely something you might want to look into. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know a whole ton about this project because I don't. But if this game floats your boat and you look at this and say, hey, you know, these graphics look to be above average compared to most other NFT games out there, then hey, maybe this is something you might want to pick up. The next project is Solana moneyboyz, one of my very favorite projects that I definitely want to pick up very soon. 4,444 moneyboyz, building financial tools for the metaverse. So what this project actually offers is analytics for NFTs. And someone told me about this like a while ago, and the floor was around 6 Solana. And if you notice right now, the floor for moneyboyz is going to be around 28. So definitely this project is absolutely killing it. And I love it. I think the art is cool. It's simple. It's clean. But more than anything, they are working on creating analytics tools for NFTs, which I do think the NFT industry desperately does need. So you also, of course, can earn the MBC token through staking. Definitely one of the strongest projects out there. It's hard to say at 28 whether or not it is a little inflated maybe, but I do look to pick one of these up at some point on a pullback. The next project is skatex, which of course, powered by Solana here, is not minted yet, but it will be minted here on the 5th. And what's wild about this is you have some ex-EA, Lucasfilm, Roblox people here, and this clip, I mean, looks literally ludicrous. So definitely maybe something to look out for. It's hard to say whether or not they will be you know, a popular collection, but I do see maybe it holding a price. I don't know whether or not this is like a OpenSea front page project here or whatnot. I could see this being a very slow and steady growth over time, which is definitely not a bad thing either. The next project here is Iterate. Never heard of it in my life, to be honest with you. I really couldn't even tell you much about what this project has to offer. Here is, I guess, some of their little metaverse footage here, and you can check on their site. What they essentially have looks to be a metaverse very similar to, say, Lux or Yaku or some other thing like that. So here's a little bit of footage. They created some Star Wars content here, I guess, in Iterate. You know, definitely one of the projects I haven't heard of. I'm not going to pretend to know a whole lot about, but, you know, if this metaverse floats your boat, maybe this is a project you might want to look into. The next one here is Turtles. They've been around a long, long time. Have had a very volatile, you know, series of floor prices over the past probably a few months. But on their site, of course, one of a kind, algorithmically generated, strong, and collectible, living on Solana. So here is the Turtles token. I do remember this being around here for a very, very long time. They did airdrop some projects, and definitely does look as if these guys have some stability and some community. So hey, maybe something I'll pick up one day. It's hard to say, but they did last through many, many, many bear markets. And, any project that has survived a bear market like that, definitely does look to be a good proponent for OpenSea. So again, some of these veteran projects will not perform well and fizzle out, but turtles definitely may do well. The next one, of course, the Ape Academy. I mean, oh my goodness, this is one of the oldest Solana projects out there. I remember seeing these when they had a floor of around 50 on Solana back in the day, and the floor now was around 50 for the longest time, and then like a day or two ago surged up to around 80 or 90, which is bonkers. But 3D art, very popular, very iconic. Most people associate this project with Solana. This is kind of the #1 Solana project for a lot of people, at least aside from Solana Monkey Business, and of course DeGods right now, and maybe Taio Robotics. But definitely does look to be very successful, in my opinion, on OpenSea. If you have one of these, I would say you're golden. Wish I'd have bought one a long time ago, but I do think I'm a little priced out right now for a project like this. But again, art is very cool. More than anything, this is basically synonymous with Solana, and that's really what matters. The next project here, Build, Destroy Solana here. This is talking a little bit about the Soul Flowers project, I guess a representative from Soul Flowers, but real utility, real team, real art. I do remember seeing this project perform very, very well, even in bear markets. So, again, this is one of those that does look to be executing on their roadmap and their white paper, which is always cool. A lot of information, a lot of details here in their white paper. I do remember seeing this perform very, very well in Magic Eden during a time in which, obviously, there was not a whole lot going on for the Solana industry. So, definitely, Soulflowers looks to have lasted through some very, very tough times, and I do believe they will probably perform well on OpenSea. The next project here is Salamas. Very, very old, very old. I mean, I remember this from probably August of last year. Not a whole lot has been going on with them. I do think they have some kind of like basic playing card game here, which I do remember. And of course, when you look at some of the links here for Salamas, even if we look at Magic Eden, I don't think the floor price is anything nuts. 1.2. I think the floor has been around 1 for probably 6 months, to be honest. Don't know whether or not these guys have much going on here when they get on OpenSea, but hey, might be a fluke. I think the art is kind of cute in its own way, so hey, might be worth taking a gamble on. Hard to say. The next project here is Solana Monkey University. Definitely one of the better picks out there. I think one of the most underrated picks out there, in fact, given the fact that Solana Monkey University has artwork that looks a lot like Drippy's Solana Monk Rejects, yet the cool thing is the fact that this is much more affordable with a floor price of around 1.6. So definitely a little bit more affordable out there. Great art. I do believe that this will do well, and that is why I bought 2 of them. The next project here is Rude Golems. Do remember these guys launching. I do think this is another one of those kind of underwhelming launches, but the artwork is very cool. 3D kind of look, could be successful on OpenSea. I don't know much about what these guys have going on. I don't know if they have a game or whatnot, but that might be something worth looking into. The next project is Remnants, one of my absolute all-time favorites. I hold on to one of these, and I think these guys will be huge, especially with the female Remnants coming out soon. So, again, this is probably one of the greatest NFT games out there. I haven't played it, but I've learned a lot about it. I've seen a lot of footage, and it's basically Zelda feeling in NFT here. They have camps, which are also worth, I think, around 8 or 9 Solana right now. Just a ton of awesome stuff going on. People are routinely tweeting at these guys, talking about how they played all day and had a blast and earned $100 in Solana by playing. So it looks as if these guys are taking the NFT gaming industry completely in the right direction. I do think that this will ultimately be one of the best projects out there. I love the art, love the designs, and again, it looks as if their game is really one of the best. I've been following these for a while. I bought in around 10 Solana, so I've made around like 7 or 8 Solana on this project in terms of profit, but I will be holding because I do like this project an awful lot. The next one here, Visionary Studios, insanely expensive launch. Don't know much about whether or not these guys are going to be able to hold on to the momentum that they gained, but I definitely could see this one being a front page on OpenSea. they basically made this like a very mystical, kind of weird launch. I don't know much about what these guys really have going on, but it's a project that's just worth an asinine amount of money, and I really can't tell you why. But there is something that this project is doing in terms of membership and things like that, so might be worth taking a look at. I know they have a listing here on some marketplaces, so definitely might be worth enjoying, taking a look at what this project has to offer. The next one here is Rogue Sharks. Very, very cool project here. One of, in fact, my favorites in terms of the art. I do remember this launch. Very, very high volume launch. I don't think the floor ever got to where people wanted, but I do think the artwork is very cool. Could see it doing well over on Ethereum, and of course, I do think they have kind of executed on their roadmap well to keep building their community, so that is always cool. The next one here is Solana Monk Rejects. Folks, we love this. We love Monk Rejects. One of my favorite projects out there. I did purchase this. I purchased 2 of them at around 3, sold one for around 6. I'm holding my other Monk here at 6. And again, it's some of the best art, some of the strongest community. Definitely a must buy in my opinion. I do think I'll be picking up another one of these at some point here in the near future. The next one here, Chain Myth, which is a 5v5 first-person shooter game here with MOBA mechanics featuring character NFTs. So featuring tokenized 5K 3D characters. I don't know much about this. I can't say I've heard about this before being tweeted about on OpenSea. I don't know much about whether or not you even find this here right now over on Magic Eden. So if we search for Chain Myth, I don't know much about them. You know, not a lot of demand in terms of floor price, but hey, if the game is good, it very well could grow, and I do think that is really what is going to matter in the future. So if OpenSea felt that this was quality enough to list, then that's really what matters. Next one here is Drippy Verse. Great competitor to Solana Monk Rejects out there. Definitely that 3D art design, you know, very likely will be successful on OpenSea. Got that 3D design, you know, tons of activity on Twitter. Reminds me very much of an Ethereum project. I've said this before, but reminds me very much of an Ethereum project. I wouldn't miss out on this with a floor of around 3.5 right now. I do think they're worth picking up. I snagged 2 recently. The next project here is Pixel Bands, an NFT music launch pad. So I do remember this project actually from launch. I believe they've basically maintained some of their community. They have an open mic night here on Twitter. That's pretty cool. I do think they also have a pretty active community on their Discord. So definitely getting into the NFT music industry. Who can't like that? You know, is this going to fly on Ethereum? It's hard to say, but if not, I do think this may stick around on Solana. The next project here is Fract, one of the longest lasting projects out there. I had one a long time ago, sold it, unfortunately felt like a bag holder after a while, but this is very, very cool generative art, and it does look as if they have expanded some of what they have tried to, you know, to do here and what they've tried to build over time, but definitely very, very cool generative art. Originally, that was what they were designed to do. I don't know much about whether or not they have succeeded in building whatever it is they are building here, some DeFi thing here, but definitely maybe worth taking a look at, as I know this project has been around here for a very long time. The next one, folks, is Danger Valley. Tons of people are very, very interested in this project. I get asked about this a lot on my streams, kind of much like Baby Ape Solana Club right here, or Social Club, which definitely has kind of a similar size audience and a similar size community, but over here on OpenSea, floor is 2. Could it very much have a resurgence? Yes, I do believe this could do well in the future. The artwork looks like something that could succeed on OpenSea, and they have kind of an abnormally large community for being only a floor price around 2. So, hey, that might be one worth picking up. I don't own one, but definitely not something I would avoid. I definitely would consider this if I were looking for some new projects to look at. The next one here is Famous Fox Federation, of course, obviously being massive in terms of their whitelist token marketplace. So you can go to the Famous Fox website and purchase some whitelist tokens. And obviously by doing that, they basically did kind of save their project. There's a lot going on here, staking, some major roadmap stuff here. And it's a little expensive right now, but I do think these guys will be some of the winners on Ethereum. The next project here is Cyber Pharmacy. sort of in the cannabis, medicinal plant, psychedelic industry. That's not something I'm into, but if that's something you're into, that might be worth looking at. Again, the artwork is very, very cool, so can't complain about that. It's hard to say whether or not these guys will explode on OpenSea, but again, definitely could hit some niche community in the right way and be featured maybe on the side of the OpenSea website, being more away from the meme projects and more into those long-term holds. So maybe that's something you might want to look at. The next project here is High Roller Hippo Click, which is also, of course, coming to OpenSea. And if you guys check their listing here over on Magic Eden, this is basically some kind of community-run organization. I don't know much about what they do, but it is something to do with decentralizing casinos and whatnot. Those have been very popular on Solana these days. And of course, you guys can see on Magic Eden here, they have a very unique style to their art that I could see being successful on OpenSea. The next project here is Yakucorp. I hold a Yaku bike, and I definitely am looking at getting one of their capsules soon. This is an extremely, extremely good project out there. I do believe that they will be one of the longest lasting Solana projects. They are building like crazy, collaborating, of course, with a lot of large projects. You have the bike, which I have, and you have the capsule, which I am looking to get. But man, look at this footage. I mean, just an incredible way to sort of branch into the metaverse. Love to see Yakucorp doing this. They seem to be beating out a lot of their competition. They've had some days where the buy volume has been nuts. And of course, they have staking. So who can't love that? The next project here is something called Syndicate. Very old project. Had one, sold it a long time ago. Don't know much about whether or not these guys have the community really anymore to do what it takes to succeed on OpenSea. So I would definitely watch it, but I don't think their community is quite new enough. I feel like a lot of people have left the NFT scene, have died out. Definitely something I'll follow, but I just don't know if these guys have what it takes anymore. The next project, Pesky Penguins, total blue chip. Bought one the other day for 7.5. The Newt community thing has been going around for a long time. People hold on to these. I see a lot of DGOD people and Bored Ape Yacht Club people with this project. Super affordable right now, in my opinion, for a blue chip. I definitely don't think these guys are going anywhere anytime soon. They've survived basically every single bear market there has been. And right when DGODs were at a floor of 5, so were Pesky Penguins. So very well, in my opinion, could be another DGODs one day. The next project here is Exiled Apes, basically a relative of the DGen Ape Academy. Talked about those guys earlier. Super successful projects. Hard to say whether or not these guys have the same liquidity with only 518 of them, but the floor price is always wildly high for this. The next project here is jellybeast. Never heard of it in my life, to be honest with you. The artwork is kind of trippy. Maybe this is something you'd want to look into. The next project here is Chill Chat, which is basically a create-to-earn pixel art metaverse made by the players. So I believe they've been sitting around a floor of like 30 Solana for a long time, but even now it looks as if they've surged. So definitely could be a good move if this is something you're looking to get involved with. You know, pixel art can be popular in a niche community, might be worth getting into. Next project here is Modulk, which is basically Enviro, which is a cross-chain Ethereum and Solana metaverse. I definitely do look to rebuy into this in the future here. I had one of these Enviro passes, and I do believe I will rebuy into this in the future, as what I think is very cool is the fact, of course, that they are working on cross-chain. That's huge. Who doesn't want something that's both on Solana and Ethereum? That's awesome. Next project here is Creatures. First NFT on Solana ever. That is pretty crazy. First mint March 26th. You know, I don't know whether or not they have much going on with their roadmap right now, but again, it doesn't look as if the community is that large. I think a lot of this is very old, you know, Solana community, people who may have abandoned, Solana as a whole. So keep an eye on it. Don't think it's going to be a major winner. Next one here, Bulldog Billionaires. Very popular staking project. You earn bone by staking it. Seem to have some good activity on Twitter. Don't know much about whether or not this art will fly on Ethereum, but could be possible. Next one here, soulpunks. One of my longtime favorite projects, folks. I've been holding a soulpunk for really like 7-8 months now. I have a few of them. Me and my buds picked these guys up a long time ago, and they're coming on OpenSea. So OpenSea is giving soulpunks some level of credibility. One of the only derivative projects, in fact, I think the only derivative project that's actually coming to OpenSea. So do with that information what you will. I think these guys are a must-have and definitely could be worth holding in the future. They're a quality project. They've been around a long time. This was long before the garbage derivatives started, sprouting up. They are essentially the first collection to complete a mint on Solana. I do remember that. And of course, they are run by the soulpunks DAO. So definitely a project here I would not look past. They have been through and seen every bear market there is. So definitely bullish on soulpunks, and OpenSea collaborating with them definitely does give them some validity as a derivative project. The next one here, of course, Mindfolk, super low supply, make a ton of passive income from what I know. Definitely sort of in the D-Gods league. I would look at this. I don't know whether or not they are reasonably affordable. I don't think they are right now. 105, yeah, definitely not. Most of these are being staked, it looks like, but again, not a whole lot of activity here, as most people probably are staking this right now. Next one here is Infinity Labs, one of the most underrated projects out there. Had one of these at launch, did not do all that well with it. Bought it for like, I think 8 Solana, and for some reason it just crashed over time, and it's been a very long time since this launched, but it just did not hold a very good floor price for whatever reason. But the art is beautiful, literally beautiful. You guys can see these scenes here. Basically, you merge these scenes and you could create better looking art. It looks like a Minecraft shader pack. It is gorgeous. I recently picked up another one for like 2 Solana. Some of these 2 timelines, which give or take maybe 5-6 months ago, would have been going for like 20 or 30 Solana. So maybe they might do well. It's hard to say, but on some weird chance that these guys have been building, I think this art would fly. I think people would love this in the Ethereum community. So that is why I decided to pick one up recently. Next project is Aurori, a Solana-based blockchain gaming studio with some play to earn, of course. Been around a very long time. Feels like a blue chip game. Definitely worth looking into. Next one here is Portals. Long-time project, of course, a metaverse. They're very, very expensive right now, so maybe not the most upside potential from Portals here, but if this is one of the winner metaverse projects on OpenSea, maybe this is worth doing. The next one, of course, here is Jungle Cats. Very high quality 3D generative cats here on Solana. Don't know much about them. I think the art could be successful. There is a lot of art that looks similar to this, but I like the hyper detail. They definitely do seem to have a relatively strong community. Might be good on OpenSea. Next one here, Catalina Whale Mixer is a Web3 global entertainment franchise. Can't say I know anything about this one, to be honest, but the artwork definitely does look very much like it would do well on OpenSea. A lot of major Solana players here are purchasing these, and that is always a good thing. And the final project for this video, Boryoku Dragons. Oh my god. Humongous project, 1,100 of these, super high floor price. I bet you they're going for like 150 at least right now, probably even a lot more, 300. I was a little off in my estimate, but these guys are huge, make a ton of passive income from staking, and again, one of the greatest Solana projects of all time. Definitely think these guys will do well on OpenSea. That being said, folks, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I apologize if I spoke fast, but to get through this, even in a half an hour, was pretty daunting. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed and feel bad for me here running out my voice, drop a sub. I'd appreciate it. Check out the Patreon, folks. Link down below in the description. Let me know down below in the comments, of course, which of these projects you guys liked the most. My name is Matt. See you guys on the next video. Peace.